I'm Thom Hazaert.
I'm David Ellefson. We are here at Rock Scene, and we are on the Bass Story Tour.
Yeah.
And give them the history.
So,
how did it all happen?
I met David 20 years ago, and he worked at Peavey. And we reconnected several years later. I was doing I was directing for the special features of the Shocker re-release Blu-ray. I did a 30-minute documentary about the soundtrack, and I hit up Dave and to see if he wanted to participate, and he did, and through that we kind of reconnected, became friends. Like, oh, what are you doing now? I'm managing bands.
It was like on MySpace or something.
Yeah, right. If you know, it was Facebook.
Yeah, it
wasn't quite MySpace, but yeah. And, through that, me and Dave ended up starting a label together, a couple labels, and a coffee company, and now we're in a band together. So,
yeah. It all comes back to being in rock bands.
Yeah.
Because everything good that we learned in life, we learned being in rock bands.
That's right, or listening to rock bands, or telling rock bands what to do.
Well, the tour that we're on is called Bass Story. And it started last year, was the 35 years of Megadeth campaign that our management set forth. And it's true, because Dave and I met in June of 1983. He was about 6 weeks out of Metallica at that point. I had just moved from Minnesota to Hollywood, moved into an apartment under him, and from there we put the band together. So with that campaign, fans started finding these incredible photos of me from over the years. And one of the things that I always went to was the bassist that I was using. I was like, oh man, maybe with Chris Paul and Garcia, I'm just in the very first lineup, and I'd be playing at BC Rich. You go, man, I remember where that was. And I would tell the story, and I'd use the hashtag every bass as a story. And so as Thom and I started talking about stuff to do last year, 2018, because Megadeth was mostly off the road. We were working on a new record. We only worked about 8 weeks over in Europe. And Thom had been encouraging me to take an idea that when I wrote my previous memoir called My Life with Death, I went down to Australia. They asked me to go down and do a spoken word tour. And I didn't know, I know Henry Rollins does spoken word. And so as I'm flying there, I'm asking like the tour manager, and I'm asking like, what is this? Is this like I brought my bass because I figured my bass is my friend, and if worse comes to worse, I'll plug it and play riffs. And Thom said that's exactly what it should be. It should be riffs and repartee. Basically, tell the story of my life as defined by the riffs that have made me famous. And so that is really where the whole bass story concept came out. It's kind of started a little more clinicky, a little more storytelling, and then as we wrote the second memoir last year that just came out called MORE LIFE WITH DETH. It includes really everything that Thom and I have worked on with the record label, the coffee company, and management company, and a booking agency, and all the other little cottage industry that we have here, we call the Ellefson Industries. That Thom has really been the think tank and really the brainchild behind those, and really, quite honestly, sits in the headquarters and the hub of this to really drive the bus on that stuff. And so that's really largely what the book is about. And while we were on Bass Story, we went in the studio and we wrote a track back in December 2018. We were down in Florida. We went in the studio one night and we wrote this track that became Vultures. And it came out great. I was like, you know what? You sing pretty good and write good lyrics over my riffs. And I said, I've got 2 other songs. Why don't you go in and write some lyrics and put some ideas down on them? And he did. Initially we thought it would just be kind of maybe a 3-song kind of digital download,
release
sort of
the book.
Yeah, kind of an accompaniment to the book. And then I started pulling stuff out of the vault. And he said,
then it went to an EP, and then it turned into a whole 2-disc double vinyl.
Yeah, well, one of the songs was called Sleeping Giants, and that's when he said, he goes, why don't we call this David Ellefson Sleeping Giants? Because these are a bunch of really great songs. Singers like David Glenn Isley from House of Lords and Jafria, John Bush from Armored Saints, these guys had sang on just demos that I had, and he's like, let's put this out on this and just make it a full-length album and make it a companion to the book More Life with Death. So that is why we are here on tour supporting this.
There's 3 new songs that I sing on Sleeping Giants. There's Vultures, Hammer Comes Down, which actually also has Mark Tremonti on it, Chris Poland, Dave McClain from Machine Head, Joey Radziwill from Sacred Reich, and then there's another one called Sleeping Giants, which is the title track, which is actually me and DMC do the vocals on, which is awesome. So yeah, so there's those 3. And then a Christian Nairn, who plays Hodor in Game of Thrones, is actually a big EDM DJ, and he did a remix of Vultures. So there's those three, and then the Christian Nairn remix of Vultures. Like Dave said, there's a John Bush track, which is awesome, a bunch of F5 songs, which was Dave's band when he was out of Megadeth for a season, and yeah, a couple tracks with David Glenn Isley. And then on the CD, there's a second bonus disc that's all EMP and combat artists. So it's all this cool thing that just ties into our whole trip, the book and the labels, and it's really a cool little thing that just tied up everything we do into a nice little package with a bow.